Hello, and welcome back to France News with Max Mercer. A land has been found far west of ours. In this new land, there are strange new people. Their lifestyle is completely different from ours, and right now you'll be visiting this new land with our on-scene broadcaster, Brandon Curtis. Brandon?
Thanks, Max. Right now I'm standing on this new discovered land. I'm standing next to a group of men who call themselves Iroquois. These men seem to be angry and confused of our presence. The fact that they speak a complete different language makes it hard to communicate. Right now we are trying to talk to one of the natives. Who are you and what do you want? As you can see, it is hard to communicate with the...
Thanks, Brandon. Right now we will be watching a video sent in to one of our viewers on this new discovered land. Thank you. Hello, we're back with Max Mercer's France News. Today we've looked a little bit of the Iroquois culture that we found the new land. Now we're gonna be interviewing an Iroquois expert, Dr. Hawkins here, who's gonna tell us a little bit about the Iroquois culture. So Jacob, what is Iroquois exactly? We know they're natives and everything, but what are they exactly?
Well, it's one of the native tribes who prefer to live off the land by farming rather than hunting. They do eat some meat, but not as often.
Well, that's very interesting. I've heard of Algonquian tribes also. I'm sure many of our viewers have as well. What are they?
Basically, they're the opposite. They eat meat mostly. They do have like vegetables though, because that brings trade between the Iroquois and the Algonquin.
Oh, that's really cool. So, if you were a native, would you rather be Iroquois or Algonquian?
I would prefer to be Algonquin because they hunt, and I just love to hunt.
Well, that's really All right, Jacob. I have another question for you. So Quebec right now, since it's being run in a hierarchical society with our king in charge, would you say that Quebec's character is going to stay French for the years to come?
It should. Like, we have a strong society going, and it shouldn't be overtaken because we have help of the Iroquois. So unless the British suddenly
take over
with
France,
but that would be very unlikely because the Iroquois.
So you're guessing that France will be able to win the wars that they would be able to come up against, right?
They should.
Yeah. All right. With the help of the Iroquois. All right. So we're talking to Dr. Calkins, and we're gonna ask him our third question. So, Jacob, I'd like to ask you another question. So the Iroquois are on a completely different land from ours, so they must know a lot of different things from us. Like, I've heard that they know different types of transportation that they have. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yes, their means of transportation are way better because they have much harsher winters than us.
Yes, of course.
They have very deep snow, so they have like snowshoes, which are big shoes that help you to stay above the snow,
Really
as well as dog sleds, which are just basically toboggans hooked up to dogs, and they pull them around.
How many dogs do they have on these sleds? Like, a dog can't pull a sled, can they?
Not alone. They have help of like
of course.
7 or 9.
All right. But what do they do in the summer when the ice is melting?
Well, they have much smaller ships called canoes, and they are more agile. They get around in rivers a lot better.
Interesting. So do you see trade coming through with the natives? Iroquois people, actually, because you know that the Algonquins aren't a part of it yet. But the Iroquois and us France people, do you think there's trade?
Definitely. We have things such as pots and pans, which are much easier to cook with, and they have their means of transportation, which we could get around much easier.
All right, Jacob. So we've learned a lot of new interesting facts about the Iroquois culture. I'd really like to thank you about being on the show today. It was really nice to have you.
Nice being here.
Oh, yeah.